For a boy or man-child to become a man, he has to give up adult content and beating the meat. Relapses are landmines that you have to avoid on your way to change. Stopping adult content will help your dating life, help you stay focused, and help you grow into the best version of yourself. When you quit beating the meat and adult content, you get control over your urges. This means you can focus more on your goals and spend less time on other things. Not just your hormonal desires, but all of your desires. Discipline fills up every cup. Not only does giving up fake sex help you become more disciplined and focused, but it also makes you enjoy real sex more. Beating the meat is a fake form of sex, like eating an Impossible burger instead of a 100% Angus burger. Always, the real thing is better. People would rather hear the truth than a lie. When you stop taking drugs or beating the meat, your brain doesn't get as much dopamine. When you release, chemicals that make you feel good are sent to your brain. When you urinate, a lot of dopamine is released. They can make it hard to notice the good feelings that come from small victories or simple pleasures, like smelling flowers, eating a good meal, or getting a nice hug. The first few days of your nofap rites of passage will leave you feeling empty. This is because dopamine doesn't come out in huge amounts. As your journey goes on, you'll feel like going back to your old ways. Many people say that when they quit, they don't enjoy life at all. Many say that the journey gets harder around the second week, but everyone's journey is different. When giving up fake sex, the first 3 days are often the hardest. Once your brain is back to normal, which usually takes about 90 days, you can enjoy things you haven't in years or even decades for some people. After a few months, your brain gets back to normal, and you start to enjoy life the way you did as a child. You can be happy with little things. A flower is pretty, and its smell can take you back to both new and old memories. But it's not easy to get rid of an addiction that more than 90% of men have. Along the way, your brain will beg, fight, and try to convince you to open a private window and look for your favorite dealer. When you break your nofap streak, this is called a nofap relapse. A streak is the number of days you don't do porn or beating the meat and don't fall back into old habits. Your sober days are kept track of because nofap is so hard that it turns into a competition. It's hard to give up. Men who join nofap have to promise not to touch themselves or look at adult material. Relapses break our promises and make us less able to trust, depend on, and believe in ourselves. The goal of nofap is to get your brain back to the way it was before you did porn. Every time you slip up, your streak starts over from the beginning. We use the word streak because that's how the nofap movement talks about how far you've come. Even if your urges tell you that relapsing is the only way to feel good, that is always a lie. Men feel broken and disappointed in themselves after a relapse because they can't control their urges. Care for yourself. Don't shame yourself while you're in nofap, because it will only lead to more relapses. Instead, tell yourself nice things and remind yourself not to give up. When guys get laid, they have a party. Even better would be if he did it with a woman he really cares about. No one is happy when they slip up. Instead, shame hits you in the chest with a spinning side kick and then smashes your head with a crowbar. Relapses cause people to do things that aren't helpful, like eat bad food, play video games, or watch TV, instead of doing something useful, like learning how to invest in the stock market. To stay on track with nofap, you need a plan for what to do with your extra energy when you get the urge. We call it a nofap emergency, when someone wants to use again. Basically, the urge to use again has nothing to do with sex. It has to do with energy. You have too much energy, and you've learned to get rid of it through your organ. Instead, use your energy in a different way, like by working out hard. You can do it right away. Leaving the ritual also helps. Don't go to the place where you usually beat the meat by yourself. It's too easy to go back to the way things were. When you feel like it, go. Don't get high off your own supply. The nofap journey is one of the hardest things men will have to do in their lives. Beating the meat is a drug, and you're the one who sells it. You don't get high on your own supply, Elvira from Scarface said. She meant, don't touch yourself. Don't give up if you slip back into old habits. You only fail the trip if you give up. Take a tissue and wipe yourself down, then keep going. Don't let a nofap relapse win, no matter what you do. You came this far to watch a video about it, you can go even further as well. Good luck, my boys.